Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we're gonna try to give away 250 XRP because today might be the first day that we hit 1,500 likes within 24 hours. So make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below, as that is all I need to do to enter. Having said that, guys, it's a pretty juicy day again, alright? Pretty juicy day. We got some crazy stuff to talk about, mostly XRP today, so make sure you watch it all the way through. First question of the day was, why doesn't the pump continue? All right, a lot of people have been asking me this question. What has happened to the price right now? Why is it not going up because of Spark, and what's going on? What's happening? Yada, yada, yada. So let me explain to you guys two very important things. One, XRP's price is not in a direct correlation in any sense with Spark's ongoings. Whatever Spark is going to do, it doesn't necessarily affect XRP. Even if Spark goes up in price like crazy, it doesn't mean that XRP would automatically do that. And the other way around as well. If XRP goes up, it doesn't mean that Spark would do good, and so forth and so on. Now, it could have been that because XRP took a little bit of a hike earlier today, a little bit of a jump, it could be that was because of Coinbase announcement, right? It could be. However, in general, that's not the way that things move, right? It can be a small term pump or something like that because people are excited about their exchange supporting something, and maybe the whales over on Coinbase were happy that they were going to get some free money from Spark. That's still to be determined, because it could have also just been that Bitcoin is going up and so XRP goes up. It doesn't mean, however, that XRP pumped because of this Coinbase announcement, as it wasn't really that big of a deal. It was just nice that people didn't have to take their money out, right? That helps quite a lot. XRP Ledger just reached a significant milestone. The XRP network has closed its 60 millionth ledger, and if we scroll down a little bit again, you can see we are finally making a lot of progress. And funny enough, whenever I think about these ledgers being closed, a lot of people in the comment section write, oh yeah, so what about the start, right? What about inception? Or how do you say it, guys, in English? The start of it all. Again, English is not my native language. You guys must know that. I just wanted to briefly point that out because sometimes I say things wrong. Hey guys, go over to the comment section. Oh, you illiterate guy, you can't even speak freaking English. So I'm gonna just point out, not a native English speaker. I try my best, but that. However, we're making a lot of progress, and even though this 60 million doesn't really matter specifically, neither does 70 million. Consensus. There's been multiple talks about that right now. The inception of XRP, a lot of people have also been talking about that. I mean, how it got into this world, so to speak. The real starting blocks, right? We've talked about that a couple of times in videos before. However, as I've said before, how many blocks or how many ledgers it has reached, it's not like this is really an important thing to consider. I mean, why does it matter? I don't really see any reason why it should. I mean, we could be celebrating every day then, or what? It's just another milestone, like, well, it's your birthday, for example, today, and okay, you've hit 60 million ledgers, but that's that. It's not like the price is going to go up because of this, or not like people are really celebrating at home or something like that. It's not like a national holiday yet. Ripple's head of global institutional markets say XRP addressing multi-trillion-dollar market and recommends barbell strategy for crypto investors. This was a pretty interesting article because I personally did not think I completely agree, but because it was from these sources, I do like it a lot more. Ripple's head of global institutional markets is offering her take on the crypto markets and the value propositions of Bitcoin and XRP. In a new recent interview with Barron's and Grayscale, Brianne Madigan knows the rising number of institutional investors entering the crypto markets and says anyone looking to invest in the space should consider use cases and utility. So, the reason I'm quite against this is because if you start to think about the real use case or the real utility for Bitcoin specifically, and again, it was a value proposition of Bitcoin and XRP, it isn't really there. However, because of the severity of this meeting, which was on December 3rd, I believe, when Barron's and Grayscale came together, this meeting is very important and it does bring light to crypto for a lot of huge investors. From that perspective, I do think it's a positive thing to say and a positive thing for crypto, but I don't really agree that for investing in this space, you should look at use case and utility because, well, utility, it's just a store of value that's a little bit better than gold, but the real use case and utility are more so with utility coins like XRP. At least that's my opinion. All right, Bitcoin has one small piece of utility, but it's not really that utile, if you guys get what I'm trying to say. I mean, it doesn't really work properly. It's not really fast. All it can do is be a store of value. But then on a certain degree, it's actually a bad store of value as well, because you would want your value to be stored in that. And if it's as volatile as Bitcoin is, well, that theory also kind of fades away. Madigan highlights BTC's potential growth as a store of value that competes with gold and says XRP's high transfer speed and low costs gives it $1 trillion use case in the global payments market. Yeah, I completely agree with that. So for people who are newer coming in, take a look at a few individual crypto assets, understanding their utility, their core value proposition, what problem they are solving, and look at the total addressable market there. For example, in payments, because of trapped capital, there's trillions and trillions of dollars of market opportunity that XRP as a digital asset is solving for. So that's a huge addressable market. So there you would see a driver for value creation. For Bitcoin, look at the market cap of gold and look at the market cap of Bitcoin. There's still tons of room, but will there be volatility between here and when we see a top for Bitcoin? Absolutely. So my general view is we're still in the super early stages of the market, and while it's very promising to see huge institutional investors and large Fortune 500 companies coming in and putting their treasury cash into Bitcoin and other top crypto assets, this is all promising, but there will be short-term volatility in individual coins. And when it comes to portfolio allocations, Madigan says she recommends investors utilize a barbell strategy, which is typically defined as a portfolio that consists of 50% short-term instruments and 50% long-term holdings. It's a pretty long article, but it's a very important thing. I would say a barbell strategy for those who can be patient, which many investors want, and look to long-term value creation. Put a portion of your allocation in equity, taking stakes in some of the most promising companies in the space, and look at their 7 and 10-year returns if you can invest in that type of timeline horizon. I think about that sometimes, but then I'm like, well, most of the companies in the crypto space that I would like to invest in, they're all private. So I would have to find a very good route to be able to get in then, which is, I don't think, really that simple unless you have a ton of money. Then take the other portion of your allocation and pick 3 or 5 or whatever is the right number and diversify and pick a few crypto assets that you really see a story behind, that you understand the value proposition and understand the problem you are solving. Because ultimately, as you figure out that the addressable market, because ultimately, as you figure out that addressable market, you can back into reasonable valuation. And as I said in my earlier example, taking just a 3% exposure to the asset class should result in at least a 15% outperformance versus a traditional managed portfolio that's non-crypto, which is a very beautiful point. All right, she brings a beautiful point because if we start to think about it, and it most likely does because of the Barron and Grayscale conference here, if this reaches some of the major investors out there, if we were to look at global wealth, maybe that's not the best idea. Let's look at, huge institutional capitalists. It's the easiest way I should say it, or hedge fund managers and just hedge funds in general. If a lot of them were to go for a 3% exposure to Bitcoin or to cryptocurrency in general, I think it's going to be at least a $10 trillion market cap in no time. All right, if they were to all go for it. Of course, you're not going to see them all go for it because a lot of them will be like, no, we don't want to take that risk. However, there's a good reason why a lot of capital would flow from gold into crypto. And if we just take out those trillions and those dollars, she said there's a lot of room. I agree with that. And that's why, once more, I'm going to say Bitcoin, I don't really see it not going above 5 trillion. Ethereum and XRP, I don't really see not going, or I can see going above 1 trillion. I don't see it not happening, is the easiest way to say it. And kind of the top 5 here with Litecoin not being in that because I don't trust that coin. I still don't really get why Litecoin is so high up, as the utility is not really there. It's not really a good coin in any sense. It's just kind of a Bitcoin replacement, but then dumb. It's better than Bitcoin in certain ways, but it's still a very bad coin. I don't really see why we would hold it, even though I still am kind of hypocritical because I do hold it myself. All right? So don't trust me, but I'm just saying Litecoin is a pretty stupid project if you really were to honestly ask me. Then, guys, make sure you go ahead and follow me over on Twitter. A lot of you guys watch these videos, but you also use Twitter but don't follow me. Make sure you check it out, right? Go follow me over on Twitter if you like crypto updates. Now, I also tweeted it out when Coinbase got their announcement going and stuff like that. You'll see a lot earlier than when I made the video, because that was maybe 2 hours afterwards, which is, this is not the right time, though. here is how XRP holders can prepare to claim Spark tokens in the upcoming airdrop. This was up first kind of a problem, but right now you can leave it on almost any exchange and it'll all be fine. I'll talk a little bit more about Coinbase specifics though in another video coming up here soon, because there are some things you need to know. Hedge fund managers realize that having Bitcoin in their portfolios is a must. This kind of comes along with what we just saw coming from Brian Madigan, is that they must have at least some exposure to crypto to further and actually to start off increase their diversibility, yes, to make sure they're hedged against inflation or against the US dollar or against even euros for that matter, and for the fact that this will most likely outperform most of what they got, and a lot of them are noticing about that now, and it's going to be a snowball effect where the more and the bigger the companies are that enter, the more others and smaller ones you'll see. Because those are going to be like, hey, they're doing that? All right, let's also do that because, well, it doesn't really matter how much money they're putting in. It's about a percentage. If a huge company were to decide to put 10% in, your 1% exposure is not that big of a deal anymore, right? And that's what we're going to be seeing in the next couple of months. 2021 is going to be the year of institutional investors heavily, guys. It's going to be rather huge, though. So make sure you watch it very, very closely, guys. BTC miners in Yunnan province lose power, reports. Several miners told Wu that Baoshan, Yunnan, where China's crypto miners are located, received a ban on November 30th, requiring the power station to stop supplying power to the miners. Yunnan is the third largest mining place in China after Sichuan and Xinjiang. So this letter here, let me quickly translate it for you guys. No, I have no idea how to read this, but maybe I baited you guys for just a second. If you guys can read this, put it down below. I can read a couple of things. This is 3. And, people, I know my Chinese a little bit, or my Mandarin maybe, or my traditional, I don't know, whatever. You guys can read it out yourself. The point is here, I'm pressing it again. There's a lot of control right now over in China, and that's that kind of problem with Bitcoin that I have. Even though I do think institutional investors should be hopping on in, and it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger, I am afraid of the control that a proof of work coin or currency can get, or that a government or single entity can have over this network. With XRP, it's a little bit difficult to really control it, even though they said it doesn't reach true consensus and an attack could happen. It's not really the truth, though, we saw a little bit earlier as well when I kind of went over those points and kind of debunked them. The thing you should know and you should very much understand is that Bitcoin has some issues and is kind of scary in that respect. However, we're still in it because if these huge trillion-dollar companies are entering, then why shouldn't we, right? Because they have a lot more to lose than we do. UAE has not legalized cryptocurrency, says central bank. This came as kind of a surprise to me because I thought the UAE was very, very happy with all this crypto stuff, but new stored value facility regulation defines the regulatory treatment of crypto assets, and it's actually not as clear as I had expected it to be. And it has not, this has been made quite clear, legalized cryptocurrencies by issuing the recent Stored Value Facilities regulation. All right, very important to know, it is not completely open there just quite yet. They're working on it, but they've already made a clarification right now, and piece by piece it will come, right? I'm not really worried about the UAE because they're normally quite, happy and easy with all of this, but this does decrease the chances of XRP/Ripple actually moving to the UAE, which some guys were thinking. I mean, they opened up a headquarter there for their middle section, the Middle East headquarters. They opened up there, Ripple. However, I kind of feel as if they won't go there right now because of what's been happening here once more. I think they're less likely to move over there because of the newer rules. However, as I said before, I think all these rules, they come by after just a little bit, right? The UAE is also very, very, or almost always, very fast in doing things properly and arranging things properly for all the people there. It's a big money country, a huge money country, and they like to make it so people are happy in that sense in terms of money. And I don't think this will be any issue at all. So even if Ripple wanted to go there, I think it will all be fine. At the bottom here, they said, by issuing the new SVF regulation, the CBUAE aims to facilitate fintech firms and other non-bank payment service providers easier access to the UAE market while continuing to safeguard their customers' funds, ensure proper business conduct, and support the development of payment products and services. Again, it's not a bad thing, all right? It is just not, that's the only thing it is, it's just not recognizing crypto assets as legal tender over there. Such assets are not recognized by the central bank as a means of payment and can only be used as assets for investment with a potential high risk. All right, so they're not officially just considered normal money and just money, but eventually that will come, guys. So just wait it out. I think the UAE is going to be one of the first ones to really put a very big stamp of approval on it, but they want to make sure that people are satisfied, right? And that people are safe more than everything, which is going to be coming as everybody's going to be thinking about this really, really shortly here, and as CBDCs become more popular. So everything will figure itself out. I do not worry. I don't think this is a bad thing. But guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoy it. Make sure you check out the links in the description below, like Webull and Unstoppable Domains, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.